everybody, it's Nate here, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with another game review. This time I am reviewing Gat Out of Hell. Now this is an old game, but they just finally released it for free on the PlayStation Network just on the 5th of July. This game was developed by Volition, or whatever it's pronounced, and also developed by High Voltage Software, and was published by Deep Silver, and the original release date was January 20 in 2015. It was originally released on the Microsoft Windows, Linux, PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, and the Xbox One. And the PS4 and Xbox One versions, I believe, came as a bundle that also had Saints Row 4 on it, and it was called the Re-Elected Bundle. Now, it was originally supposed to be a standalone DLC, but it got so large that they just turned it into a completely standalone expansion, serving as an epilogue to the ending of Saints Row 4. The original cost of this game was only $19.95. It is an action-adventure, third-person shooter with a single-player campaign with a really neat option of online co-op in an open-world environment. Now, this game, unlike the other previous game, does not have any character customization at all. You do not create your character. You play as either Johnny Gat or Kinsey, and basically the whole plot of the game is the President of the United States. If you have your save file from the previous game, your president will look the same as the last game, but your President of the United States gets sucked into hell through a Ouija board during a birthday party, and your quest as Johnny Gat or Kinsey is to go to hell and save him before he gets married to Satan's daughter. I am not kidding. It's actually a very over-the-top, fun game. It's really interesting. Now, the whole world takes place in a city called New Hades, and it's a hellscape version of the original Saints Row. It has 5 different islands in it, including Shantytown, the Barrens, Downtown, the Forge, and the Den. Now, the main feature with this game, other than the fact it does not have the normal structure of the gameplay, this one has a little meter at the top of the screen, and the whole point of the game is to piss off Satan enough to where he will show up and meet you, and you're able to gain access into the wedding of Jezebel, his daughter, and the president, and save him from getting married to her. The way you do it is you go around by doing destruction, by doing different missions. It's got the classic stuff where you go around and see how many people you can run over with cars. And so it does have missions, but it doesn't really have main story missions. Because as you progress through and the meter fills up so far, it'll go to a cutscene moving along the story until eventually you get the meter filled all the way, and that's when you have your final fight with Satan. It's got some really interesting stuff in it, including a downright funny as hell, no pun intended, musical number that is based off a Disney movie. And I'm not kidding. You've got to see it. It's actually quite worth it. It's got fairly decent gunplay to it. It does have all the similar mechanics if you played the last Saints Row. So if you played the last Saints Row, you kind of understand what you're getting into. Now, this version comes with neat little new added stuff, the ability of arcane powers. And as you go through the game and you collect these orbs, there's like shitloads of them. I mean like thousands of them to collect. As you collect so many, you can use them as your currency to buy and upgrade your weapons that you get, and also your arcane powers. You start off with the ability of flight, and as you upgrade it with multiple different paths, you get new abilities with the flight to where at the end, when you have it fully maxed out, you can pretty much fly non-stop. Now, at the beginning, you can't. You have a limited amount of flight ability, and you have to dive and duck to get your momentum to be able to keep flying more. It's actually a pretty nice mechanic, and they put it in pretty well. Now, the next one is super speed, and it's just like what it says. You run really fast, and as you upgrade it farther throughout the game, you get the ability to run faster to where you can run up walls, almost like Neo from the Matrix. It's kind of cool. And also, since there's lava everywhere, you also end up getting the ability to run across lava without getting hurt. And you'll even get it to where you can blow up cars as you run and everything. Is pretty cool. The next special thing you get is you can summon enemies. You can summon demon friends. And it's just like what it says. You'll summon anywhere from 2 to 3 demon friends that'll run alongside you and help kill your enemies, pretty much distract them while you're doing stuff. And as you progress through, you'll get multiple different demon enemy friends that can help you. Then you get your aura ability, which is pretty much like a shield. That's really about all it is. And you can upgrade that as well. You get a super stomp where you jump up in the air, come down, and smash the ground. Once again, like Neo from the Matrix. And once you upgrade that, you can pretty much destroy all kinds of stuff around you. And then your blast, which is like almost like a laser blast that you have different abilities. You can shoot stone, fire, stuff like that as you progress. Now the weapon system has a weapons wheel. When you press down your trigger button on the back, I think it's like R1 or R2, it'll bring up the weapons wheel and you select your weapon. Now the weapons in this game are really kind of cool. They're inspired after the 7 deadly sins. So like if you get the gun Gluttony and you upgrade it, you shoot cake batter on enemies and then other zombies come by and they eat the enemy for you. And so it's really funny and it's really over the top. Now as you go through and you want to actually get to Satan, you want to get your friends on your side. So there are allies that you can team up with in the game that will help you. They don't really help you that much. They're more just like cutscenes and little mini missions you do, but they're still fun nonetheless. You can actually become allies with Shakespeare, who is a rapper. Yeah, a DJ rapper's got his own little business down here with a dance club. Vlad the Impaler, Blackbeard, and the Twins. Now the Twins, they're returning characters from a previous Saints Row game where you ended up killing them, so they end up in hell. Now the overall length of this game is it's a short game. It was meant to be DLC, but I guess it was just too big to be DLC, so they released it as a standalone. So you're looking about roughly about 5 hours long worth of content if you go straight through it. Now if you're a completionist and you want to get all the trophies and do everything, it can take you upwards around 15 hours to complete this. It is actually a really fun game, and like I said, since it's part of the free July downloads on the PlayStation Network, I can actually highly recommend it, especially if you like the previous Saints Rows, because it is a fun diversion. There are some issues with the game. First of all, the driving, while it's somewhat improved since the last Saints Row, it has still got the buttery tire feel to it. The handling is a little off. It takes a while for you to get used to the controls of the vehicles. And since each vehicle handles differently, especially the motorcycles, which can be a pain in the ass to drive, you'll realize there's kind of a learning curve on the vehicles. Now, I have also noticed that there is a lot of glitching in this game, even with the patches that were released throughout its lifetime. It still has some issues with screen tearing. It does have slowdown. It does have some draw-in effects and glitchiness like that. And the player control, the way he runs is kind of rubbery as well. The way he turns and everything can be kind of a pain in the ass to control him, because he'll pivot from side to side as you run, which can actually be kind of a pain in the ass to control. But once again, it's not really earth-shatteringly difficult. Once you get used to the way the control setup is, you'll have no problem in controlling one of the two characters at all. The gunplay is fairly decent. I mean, if you play the other Saints Rows, you'll be used to how the gunplay works. So, all in all, it's definitely not a bad game. It's definitely worth a chance to play, especially since it's free this month on the PlayStation Network. So I can recommend you pick it up and play it. Now, due to the fact of the overall length, graphical glitches, some other bugs in it, the controls and the car controls, the overall just over-the-topness of it, which actually brings up the score a bit. My final score of this game, Get Out of Hell, is a 7.5 out of 10. Only a 7.5 out of 10, mainly because the mission structure, which there really isn't any, leads to a lot of repetition. It's go here, do this, go rinse and repeat. Now, if they had had more variety to the mission structure, or actually had a fundamental mission structure to the game, I could actually give it a much higher rating. But because of this, that's why my final score is 7.5 out of 10. I want to thank everybody who subscribes to my channel, and I've got to say it, go ahead and hit that like button, and please, in the comments below, let me know if you think I did a good job, and also what games that you would like to see me review.